Hello, good morning or good afternoon if that's where you are. Um, so I feel like I would introduce myself first before I get into whatever it is I wanted to talk about. Um, so my name is Natasha. Most people call me that. You're welcome to call me that. Honestly, the only people that call me Natasha are my teachers, supervisors, and my parents. So please, don't call me that. But anyways, um, yeah, that's me. Um, I am from Hong Kong. If you don't already know, I am very loud about it because I do like where I live. I know I talk about wanting to leave, but I do. I am very proud of where I am, where I'm from. So, yeah, I'm 24. I graduated 2 years ago, so my world experiences might be a little bit different to yours. So anything that I say, I guess keep those in mind. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I just kind of opened a new world and I'm kind of just faffing around. So there you go. I'm gonna try to build a house because I feel like that's a good first order of business. But anyways, yeah, that's me. So well, I'll get to like what I wanted to start talking about, and I'm not sure if this is the most accessible topic per se, but it has been on my mind because I've been complaining about it so much to like my friends, and this is um, because I saw like Alyssa Liu recently. Like I didn't like see her personally. I just like I've seen her skate, and now if there's anything you need to know about me, it's that I have been a figure skating fan for a while. I would say like it's been well, it's not that long. It's been about like a couple years, I would say. Maybe 3 years since I got into figure skating. As to whether I figure skate or not, I really don't. I just really like it. I think it's pretty. So yeah, I really like figure skating. Um, so why do I talk about Alyssa Lee? Well, if you haven't noticed, Alyssa Lee was Asian. And now that doesn't really strike me as anything special. And it hadn't, especially when I started watching figure skating. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, like she's a little girl. And like, mind you, Alyssa Liu is much younger than me, so like I haven't really seen her as anything but like a small child. But anyways, what was I going to talk about? Oh yes, so I'm sorry if I'm super rambly. By the way, I kind of go off topic very often, and I talk apparently way too quickly. So please do bear with me. I'm not like super well versed in like talking to people, especially when I'm kind of like yapping to myself. But anyways, so Alyssa Liu, um, she didn't really catch my attention when I first like started watching her, but then like something else caught my attention that made me start to like catch on. So there's another Olympic medalist called Eileen Gu, and I'm sure that most people have heard of Eileen Gu, and I was very very jealous of Eileen Gu, and it's kind of obvious why. Like she's very pretty, she's very accomplished, she speaks Chinese fluently, and people love her, and she kind of. I think that there are people who just have it all. Like they can just have everything, and they truly don't really have that many problems. And there's not a lot of people that are like that. But I have met some, and they might say like, oh, I've got like these problems. That's not true. But like, I don't think that these are like big problems that actually bother them all that much. So, I really wish I was like these people. But Eileen Gu kind of just gives me those vibes. Like she's pretty, she's a model, everybody loves her, and like her parents are super rich, and like I'm not to like shit on the working class, but like, hell, I wish my parents were rich. So, yeah, that's Eileen Gu. Now, something else that I noticed about Eileen Gu is that Eileen Gu is also Asian. And I wondered, like maybe I'm just kind of racist or kind of biased, and that's why I noticed that Eileen Gu is Asian. Like I guess it doesn't really matter, but given like where I live, I will say that Chinese people, like other Asians, especially Chinese people, love white people. I know that sounds super racist and like that sounds super misogynistic, but it's true. So then another phenomenon that I've noticed is something called the Oxford Study. And the Oxford Study is I sound like such a, like I don't touch grass, but whatever. It's this like internet meme that I think like salty men especially will use to explain why it is they're not getting laid, and it's because they think that Asian women only go after white men because I think they just like they're like, oh well, like they just want like a white savior, or like they think they're so like they're gonna assimilate into America or like European society just because they're dating a white man, and I think like it breeds a lot of resentment from like an Asian man. Now, as a woman, I'm not gonna sit here and say that these people are right? Because like I think it's really shitty that they do this, and I think they're just salty that like women don't like them. Anyway, even if they did, like, right? It's like why would they like you? Sorry, there's a cat, and every time I see a cat, I have to tame it. Here, kitty. Hi, baby. Hi. Are you gonna stop for me? Sorry, I sound like I'm such a creep. Oh no, don't come back, please. I'll be nice. No, I won't eat you. I promise. No. Wait, let me pause my little rant because I need to get this cat. Come back. Oh my gosh, you're so annoying. And yet I still chase you. Story of my life. Wait a minute. Hi. I don't really care about crouching. Wait. Finally, let I. Okay. Anyways, okay. So what was I talking about? Yes, the Oxford study. So I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't necessarily appreciate the term. I think it's super misogynistic, and like yes, it maybe doesn't refer to like me personally, but I still think that like these people like are kind of unnecessarily antagonistic towards women anyway, so I don't support that. But I think there's a point to be had because like, you know, growing up in an Asian country, people who are Asian genuinely do like kind of worship white people. And I'm sure most people, even Asians born in Asia, raised in Asia, have this complex where they kind of believe that like white people are superior, or at least Western culture is superior, because I think like no matter where it is you were raised, you always have this kind of mindset that like we have to be more like them, or the goal is to be more like them. So sorry, I'm trying to get this. Oh my gosh, come back! You're gonna die in that little ravine. Like I was trying to save you. You could be a little bit more grateful. There we go. Please, be friend, please, no. I'm gonna die here trying to save you. Okay, so, bruh, okay, I give up. So anyways, I've noticed this thing recently, and I think it's really true that like we have this white worship. So like, how does this tie in to Asians? Well, I think that like especially recently there was a meetup with just Asians. So I'm sure this topic has been done to death by certain types of people, but like I felt like I would weigh in my little 2 cents because I have a lot to complain about. So recently there was a Asian meetup in California, in the Bay Area, which I'm sure you Bay Area people have known about. And it's just a. So I've been chasing this cat for 2 stinking days. So yes, it was a meetup event in the Bay Area, and yeah, it was just for a bunch of Asians to hang out, and it sounds super harmless on the surface, and like I guess it kind of is, but there's also like like something that I thought was like, you know, well I'm 100% Asian, like my parents are both Chinese, and I just couldn't help but think like, would I be welcome at this type of event? And like, yeah, I guess it's a bit of a bean soup issue where it's like, you know, if it's not for you, then like why do you have to be part of everything? Like not everything is about you. But then I think it's different when it comes to race, you know? And like then the question is like, well, why does it have to be Wasians? And so I think the theory that Wasians themselves posit, or the people who try to join in these spaces, is that they are a less represented like community, because like mixed people, I suppose, maybe they have been marginalized to some extent in the past. And come back, please, you're so cute. Oh good, you're trapped. Oh no, it's gonna die actually. Never mind. I only have one left. Okay, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna give up. But yeah, so like I think that like like the theory that Asians themselves posit is that okay, I'm gonna give that. The theory that Asians themselves posit is that like they are like traditionally marginalized because like mixed people are kind of seen as like not fully part of anywhere, and so they need their own space for themselves, and therefore there's nothing wrong with that. Right now, inherently there isn't anything wrong with that, but I still feel like there's this underlying sense of like privilege from Asians that they refuse to recognize, and they kind of just are all like, well, um, you don't know what it's like to be like mixed race, so like you can't say that like I'm like more oppressed than you, whatever. Now I also hate the oppression Olympics. Okay, now I'm super left, like I'm as liberal as they come, and I still am not a fan of the oppression Olympics. I think that those are real. So I think that like wages themselves kind of like play into this thing of like, well, you don't know what it's like, so like therefore you shouldn't say anything, and like you have like you can't talk about this meetup because like, oh, it means so much to me. I never met so many people that look like me. And it's kind of like, where have I heard this before? Like, yeah, okay, like maybe like it's just pattern recognition and it doesn't actually mean anything. But something that I've noticed they say a lot is like, I've never met so many people that look like me, and it's very hard for me to be represented. Now, where did I hear that before? It's amongst like Asians themselves. And like, I think what's being failed to understand, if that makes sense grammatically, what's like the failure of understanding here is that there is always an inherent like advantage that these people have compared to like Asians. I don't know, sue me. Okay, I think that's my opinion. And like they refuse to recognize it, and it really infuriates me. And I think that the rise of this meetup and the concurrent one that happened in New York City um, just kind of facilitates the the thing that Asians have where they're all kind of like, oh well, like I never met people that look like me, and like we get to have our own spaces and like separate from like Asians. But something that I've also seen theorized is that like why does it have to be Asians? Like why does it have to be like white Asian, especially like white Chinese or like white Japanese or white East Asian, like this particular combo, sorry. And like people were saying like other like types of Asians like Blasian, like black and Asian, or like South Asian or Southeast Asian was like being rejected from this meetup. Now I don't know if that's true because I wasn't in California to find that out for myself, but that is what I've been hearing, and I'm just really not surprised. Um, so then the question is like, why do you have to have a meetup specifically for Wagins? Like, why does it have to be so specific? And so that's what like pisses me off is that these people are kind of in denial about like that being the case. Um, and like yeah, you know, like I have struggled with my identity for a while. I think now I'm also struggling with it. Because I'm not sure what qualities that I want and what qualities that I don't want. And I think there's like parts to a culture that you're never gonna fully like. Um, and yeah, it's been really hard to reconcile. So like, let's go into some more context about why I have been like struggling with my identity. So like, if you guys don't already know, I went to international school in Hong Kong. So what that is just like this big ass private school. Oh, look at me, I go to private school. Just kidding. But like, yeah, it's a private school where the goal is to send your kids to be around people who are from multicultural backgrounds. Even though I will say the parents are also kind of racist. So, yeah, that's international school, and what that gives you is kind of this third culture kid kind of upbringing, where like you were born here, raised here, but still not really considered a local. Like I think there's a difference between like local Hong Konger and like international school Hong Kong. It's like a palpable difference, like you can tell. And I think if you spend enough time in Hong Kong, you would go around and you would notice whether somebody is a tourist or international school or local. Like it's a very obvious difference. And I sound super snotty for saying it, but it's just true. So why did I bring it up? Well, growing up in that environment, now don't get me wrong, I am very grateful for having been given that opportunity of growing up in like an international school. And as to why, it's because um, I feel like I would have struggled in local school because like those people have like crap tons of homework. They got so much to do, and yeah, it's very very stressful. So I'm just very grateful that I didn't have to go and do all of that. Um, and my parents are always reminding me like, oh well, you could have gone to local school. Like you could have been doing like crap tons of homework with those other kids. Do you know how lucky you are? And like, yeah, mom and dad, I do know how lucky I am. So, um, like I'm very grateful that I didn't go to a local school. I would have been super stressed out. I would have been competing with so many different kids, like so many super smart kids, and just thank God I didn't do that. Um, and like in international school, you speak English, so part of the selection criteria that people have is that like you need to be um, a fluent, like native English speaker, and it sounds super snotty and super arrogant, but it's just true. So yeah, you need to be a fluent speaker. I'm sorry about my layout, by the way. I'm gonna fix it, but I really just need to like get basic stuff first. Um, so that's kind of the mindset that people have, and yeah, and that's kind of how I grew up. So I do speak Chinese quite well-ish, I would say, but I also kind of have this ABC level of Chinese that people can tell because I have an accent when I speak. So I've always kind of had this like little identity crisis where I was born here, I was raised here. I will say I'm very fortunate that I don't view myself as other just because I'm Asian. Like it's always just been a very like whatever thing. Like, something that I noticed about America is that when you make reports to the police, you always have to mention the race of the person. And I never really realized or like understood that that was like important because like in America there are generally just so many races that it's important to list whether the person is Caucasian or the person is black or the person is Asian. But for here, most people are Asian, so you're just kind of like, oh, like this person is like X tall, or like X weight, or like has like X color eyes, or like X color hair, and like we'll only really point it out if you're not Chinese. So like I've never considered myself as like outwardly Chinese, and I've never really been made to feel like conscious of my race. Um, so like that's a blessing that I've had. I've never really felt othered for being Chinese, but I have um, grown up around mostly white representation in books and movies that I would read because like it's Hollywood. I mostly consume media in English because that's what I understand. Um, so yeah, like that it's been a bit confusing for me. Like I remember there was a time period where I really wanted to be white, and there was a girl in my school called Ellie Peterson, and like she was like Danish, so like she was really pretty and stuff, and she was like white and like blonde, and like she was super super popular. Now I truly truly believe like Ellie was not all that, but I believe the reason why she was popular is because she was white. And then okay, so like there was an assignment that my school gave us, which was like, if you could change any part of your body, like what would you change? And the first thing that I chose was my hair. And I remember writing that I wish that I had blonde hair. I wish that I had blonde hair so that I could be popular like Ellie Peterson. And that's what I wrote. And you had to draw yourself with like hair and like that color hair. So I drew myself as being like white and pretty. And I'm not really proud of that now. I think that's really sad that you want to like change these like features about yourself that make you who you are, and they're part of like who your parents are and your family, and like I wouldn't change that for the world now. But at the time I really wanted to be white, and I used to be a part of like what's it called, like those race changing people that really want to be like Korean or something. I was the OG of this kind of thing even before it became a thing at all. um so yeah, I used to watch like subliminals on YouTube at like 4 in the morning of like making your eyes blue, and then I would check in the morning every single day to check whether my eyes had turned blue, and then I would like, because my eyes are brown, so I'd read that like underneath brown eyes, like it's always blue eyes. So I would think about like, oh, I hope that maybe like somebody can peel off my corneas one day, and then they'll find blue underneath, and I'll be like the white person I was always meant to be, or some bullshit like that. Which is so stupid, but that's kind of what I thought. And so like growing up under that lens for most of your life, it really, like it's really hard to like be in that bubble and also like notice these Asians who are like, oh well, I've never I've never been I've never been represented in Hollywood, and like I never met people that look like me. And so like it's really really hard not to feel some type of way and to say like, oh well, everybody's got their own experience, when you know that like these people are privileged because they're closer to whiteness. And yeah, but like I feel like I can't say that because it's gonna be like, well, I don't want to like is it delineate? I'm not sure what the word is. Like I don't want to dismiss their experiences. Like I'm sure that's been the case, and I'm sure that they might have experienced bullying as a result of like, sorry, I need to use my axe, as like as a result of like their heritage. But like I genuinely feel like it's different when you grow up as like a full-blooded like Asian. And now something else that I think strengthens my point is that my parents, or like my relatives, do not mind a white partner. And they've kind of pushed for a white partner because they felt like having like Hapa babies are gonna be much more attractive than like full Asian kids. And I'm not the most rebellious person. Like I want to get married someday, and like I want to have kids, and like I want to do all that. And like I think that I'd like to do that for my parents. I'd like to make them happy. So yeah, like I do want to have kids ultimately. But still, like this whole like, oh well, like if you have kids and they're like it's better if you like do it with someone who's white because they're gonna look more attractive. I hate that. So what I've done is like I've kind of overcorrected myself. So once again, like if you don't know about me, I like to only date other East Asians because especially Chinese people. So like big plus if you're also Chinese. But this is I don't admit this to people, but this is a direct result of having whiteness forced on me, such that I like to do a full 180 and like I only date Chinese people. And I don't want to be all like, oh, I'm not like the other Chinese, I don't think that white people are more attractive, whatever. It's just because like I don't want to be seen as that person that puts whiteness or like Europeans or like Caucasians above my own race, because I personally think it's embarrassing. And I know that's so bad because like white people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, like then like you're no better than everyone else because like you're just like choosing a specific race just so you don't get viewed a certain way. So like you still hate yourself. So and that's really really bad. And like I honestly I don't really want to do anything about it. Like it does limit my choices, but I really don't want to do anything about it. So like anyways, like this is like all the shit that I've been dealing with. And it's very hard to kind of be told that like, oh well, sorry, let me get all this. Like, oh well, like I've never met people that look like me, and like I've never had represented. Like, shut the fuck up. Like it's a very different experience. So yeah, it's been pretty hard. Oh my gosh, let me back to game. I'm trying to okay. So yeah, that's been pretty hard for me. Which is why, like, I guess my point is like it pisses me off that like this is the case. Anyways, let us look for dark oak. I feel like I saw dark oak before, but let's go and look for that. So yeah, it kind of pisses me off that Asians are like this. And like it I think it came to my attention subconsciously a while back when Crazy Rich Asians came out, because Crazy Rich Asians is, like, if you don't know, like, the lead of the movie is a guy called Henry Golding, and Henry Golding is I think he's Asian himself. Like, he already looks like it. Like, come on. And in the books, wait, did they change the color of the they changed the color. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Oh my god, look at him. You're so cute. I can't even kill you. You're so cute. Okay, anyways, so Henry Golding is a Asian, and people kind of had problems with that. I remember when it came out, because they were like, well, like, in the book he's supposed to be like full Asian, so if you make him like Asian, then that kind of detracts from like the point of like representation in the first place, right? And Now, when Crazy Rich Asians came out, I didn't particularly care about representation. I didn't really care. I was just kind of like, oh, that's not like woke, like liberal left-hard kind of thing. And I don't like the word left-hard, by the way, but I was like really young when it came out. I was like, oh, that's just kind of that woke liberal left-hard type of thing. And like it doesn't really matter, right? Well, I watched Crazy Rich Asians for the first time when it came out with my friend because she really wanted to watch this movie, and this was at the time where I kind of had this internalized misogyny, um, and like pretending to hate anything about romance, so I didn't want to see it. But afterwards, when we came out of the theater, um, she said to me, "I've never felt like I've seen a movie that truly encapsulated like the feeling of not fitting in anywhere and knowing that like you are never gonna fit in. Like you're never fully white and you're never gonna be fully Chinese." And I'm sure like wages can relate to that too, but like that's like something that I've had to deal with, like even as like fully Chinese, and like I'm sure like ABCs as well also know that feeling, or like any other diaspora type of like minority group. So like yeah, that's been really shitty. So like um I feel like the point of the movie was kind of like taken away from with like Henry Golding being only half, and also because like as we already know, like Asians, we need like more representation in media, and I also thought that wasn't really important until I saw that movie, and I kind of realized how much self-hatred I had for my own race, and like by extension like my family members, which like I couldn't imagine doing that now because like my family is important to me, of course. But like yeah, I was like, oh my god, like I have kind of had this hatred towards and like resentment almost to like my own family members because I am not like a dominant or like a race that I was like less exposed to, you know. And that's like I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. So I kind of decided I was like I was gonna like forgive myself for for not being a certain race. um so yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that like Henry Golding was only half. But like also I couldn't really say anything because like you're kind of you're more or less saying that like they're like less Asian compared to you, and I'm sure that they've dealt with those struggles themselves. Like it's not really the most charitable thing to say, right? So yeah, that's also just kind of been something that I've thought about recently. Yes, we've got dark oak. Okay, we have to go kind of far. Let me kill some sheep just beforehand. Yeah, I guess I'm sorry that I don't have much substance in this video compared to I would say like intro mad, but like it's literally the first time I'm making one of these, so I'm sorry. Um, Now yeah, that's kind of my point about like weightiness. Now the second thing that I want to talk about is like we were kind of getting into it is like um this internalized misogyny as well, because I was getting a point about like internalized um what's it called, like internalized racism. I also have that internalized misogyny, and that's also been an ordeal to deal with because okay, so like growing up, my dad is a very traditional, sorry, let's not fall into that. It's like a very traditional type of like man where he's like the guy is supposed to lead and like the woman should be in the kitchen and like women like have a really bad sense of direction and stuff like that. And I really hated hearing that, and he still does it. Now I don't hate my dad, by the way. I love my dad, but it's really annoying. And so, yeah, he's kind of like that, and I really hated it. But like just hearing that the whole time like, growing up, and like being told that you know, like it's better to be more masculine because like girls only care about like vapid things, that kind of messes with you a little bit. And so something that I've mentioned with my friends as well is that you kind of have this like understanding that anything feminine is lesser. And so I've also noticed that in this like 2010s wave of like dystopian fiction, which I'm not sure if you guys have read, I'm sure most of you have because Gen Z, that like these masculine traits of like courage and like bravery and like um you know, all that kind of thing, we're kind of this wave of 2010s feminism that were being pushed at a time, and like I kind of saw that as like super strong. We all had to be super masculine and not like the other girls or whatever. Oh my gosh, that's scary, that's scary, that's scary. Um, oh my god, no, 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 no. Yeah, so like, that was kind of the thinking of that 2010s, like, sorry, that like 2010s, feminism. And I hadn't realized that that's not actually, oh fuck, that's not actually like, something to look up to, because it's like saying that like feminine traits are not actually something to be proud of. And I hadn't realized it until I watched Cinderella again, and people are like, oh, she just needs a man to save her, like, like she's not actually that strong, blah 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 blah. But like, something that someone had pointed out in the comments of like this movie is that Cinderella got to where she was because she was kind to other people. Like, she was kind to her friends, and that's why that they were willing to save her. Like, yes, she had their help, but she had their help because she was kind to them. And like these kinds of traits, like kindness or like gentleness, or like, she didn't really fight back against her like stepmother or her step siblings or anything, and people are saying like, no, that's super weak. But then also it kind of takes away from the fact that she couldn't have done anything. And I really thought about that, and how people were saying that she's like, oh, she's weak because she didn't do this or she didn't do that. That's not actually a bad thing. Like, I think people just don't like it because it seems passive. Like, it's very traditionally feminine, the way that she behaved. And so yeah, like, that's like, maybe like the strongness that we're pushing from women is just like male traits. And it extends to working in STEM as well, where like you're not really respected unless you're in some kind of like male dominated field. And I'm not sure if that's true because, like, I'm kind of biased. I work in the arts, I work in a female dominated field, but like I feel like I've always had this push from other people to be working in STEM. And it's just not something that I'm good at. I'm just not good at math. I hate math. I've always been bad at it. I hate it. Alright, so it's never really been my type of thing. But like, yeah, it's always really been pushed on me. Like, I've been thinking it's always really just been pushed on me to be good at these things. And this extends to like clothes as well. So I was a really big tomboy. I did not like to wear dresses or skirts or anything like that. I hated it. And I kind of like, I just didn't see myself wearing those things. Even though like I think like deep down I kind of wanted to. Like I wanted to deep down, because I wanted to, like, I think most like girls can relate. You want to feel pretty. And I wanted to, but I felt that it was so shameful for some reason. It's like, God forbid somebody wants to look good. But my siblings would have laughed at me, and they were like, oh, you want to be a girl, oh, you're a girl, like. And like what I should have done was like, I'm like, yeah, I am, so like what's your problem? Like, the other girls were wearing skirts and stuff, and they were kind of like, why don't you? And I was kind of like, yeah, why don't I? And I desperately wanted to fit in, but that would mean that I would have to change my entire style, and everybody would be talking about it. And like, I hadn't even put my hair down, because the one time that I did, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you put your hair down, oh my gosh, you're so pretty when you put your hair down, blah 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 blah. And I hated that. I was just kind of like, can you just like let me be, like, just like let me do my own thing, and like don't notice. Like, yes, of course, like notice and stuff, but like don't point it out, because that's really embarrassing. So it took me a long time to get over why is it all gray? Sorry. Anyway, so it took me a very, very long time to get over this whole like, oh well, other people are gonna notice, and like blah blah blah. I mean, like, yeah, okay, at the end of the day, you do want people to notice if you're trying to be prettier, right? So like, I guess it kind of makes sense. But oh, I've never seen this like all gray thing before. Let's go check it out. But yeah. So that took me a long time to get over, and it only was like in, I think, college, where I was like, I'm gonna like try to like reinvent myself, where I started to buy, like, I bought my very first dress. And yeah, how do I climb this, by the way? Can I not? I guess I can't. But yeah, that was when I first bought my like very first dress, and I hid it from my parents. And like it was so stupid, because like I guess like it's not like weird if like a girl, especially when I was born as one, like buys a dress. Like, it's not odd, but like I saw it as really weird, because I had never done that in like, I think 10 years or something. I hadn't worn a dress, so I saw it as like super embarrassing. And my parents found out, and they're like, you bought a dress? Oh my god, you're being a woman now. And like, oh my gosh, finally, like, men are gonna stare at you weird and gonna think you're like a gay or like whatever. And like, there's nothing wrong with it. I guess, like, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but like my parents were like super worried that I was gay. And they're like, oh my gosh, there's nothing wrong with you, and now you're gonna get like men are not gonna think you're weird. And like I find it super gross because like I don't live for men, I don't do it for men. And like I just wanted to look nice, but there's also like a certain extent where like, like I do like men. Okay, sue me. I like men. I'm straight. I'm just attracted to men. And what is this called? Is there a chat box? Options, chat settings, chat shown. Is there subtitles? Let me see. Subtitles. Subtitles. I can't see it. Whatever. Okay. I don't know what this is. Let me see if I can. No, I didn't get it. Yeah. So, like, ultimately, at the minute, I do like men. And like, yeah, I don't know, Subi. Like, I did like want to like find someone at the time because like I'd broken up with this like really shitty like high school boyfriend, which this is a whole other story to talk about, which I'll probably save for some other time. Please let me know if you want to hear about it. But yeah, like I do like men, and I kind of want to do it. Like I kind of did it for that, but I didn't like that my parents were pointing it out. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But yeah, that's like the internalized misogyny that I had. So like I guess we talk about what I'm gonna do about it, which I guess I've done what I can. Like I have made my peace with like doing things that are like kind of stereotypically feminine and kind of being seen as like vapid or like shallow. And something that this like high school boyfriend that I broken up with, at the time, when we got together, I was like super nerdy and like super awkward and like not really into like anything like, I guess, like stereotypically feminine. Like I didn't really care about like the way I looked and stuff. And I was just very comfortable with that in high school until I graduated, and I was like, I want to do more, like I wonder if I'd look better if I wore makeup. And I think it's true. I think I generally do. But like he really hated that, and he was like, well, I really liked you because you weren't like other people, like other like very vapid like girls, because like they only care about makeup and clothes and like you don't, and like now you're different because that's what you care about. And then I felt really upset about it, but then I was also kind of like, you know what, like yeah, that is what I care about, and there's nothing wrong with it, like what's wrong with putting in effort into the way that you look? And like yeah, it can, like you can definitely like overdo it a little bit, but like there's nothing inherently wrong with it. And after we'd broken up, I was like, yeah, well, fuck you, because you weren't a good person anyway. And I kind of started to be like, yeah, well, okay, I'm gonna like do more about this, I want to see what I can do. So I guess the answer is to just stop caring. which sounds so simple, but like you really just have to hit a point where you're like, okay, I don't really care. Like other people are gonna talk, but I know that I'm right. So I'm like, you could be wrong. Something I've learned is that even if you could be wrong, there's like nothing wrong with that. Like you're allowed to change your mind at any time whatsoever, and you're allowed to change it again and again and again and again. So like it really doesn't matter. Like these are like mental constraints that you put on yourself. So yeah, it doesn't matter. You just live your life, and like if that's something you want to do, then that's something you want to do. If it doesn't hurt other people, then that's the only thing that matters. So yeah, I guess that was like big two segments about me talking about my life. I'm not gonna do too much more because it's getting late. Please do let me know if you want to hear me yap about anything else. I could yap about work. I could yap about that previous relationship. So like I said, I am a lover girl. I I am a bit of a hopeless romantic. I love talking about it. So please let me know. I could talk about America. I could talk about living in Hong Kong. I talk about my job or like my crazy ass like previous employer. But yeah, I hope that this was a bit of a change. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to poach like intramat viewers. So I was like, I might as well talk about things that maybe I'd have more like a unique perspective on, because like no offense, but introverted man is not a woman. So maybe that's like a different style of content that I could talk about. Anyways, yes, I love talking. I've got more to talk about. Let's build up this thing because I literally just started it today. I'm really really bad at gaming, as you can tell, but yeah, there you go. So yeah, let me know if there's anything to talk about. I will try to improve on these things. So yeah, good morning or good evening wherever it is you are. That's it. So yeah. Okay, how do I end this one? There we go.